Well, I didn't think I'd have to do one of these so quickly. Hey everybody, Alex here, and welcome to another video. An all-American pickup video. So, I know I said these were not going to happen as often, and honestly, there's just been a lot of shit, and I actually have a little bit of a story to go with it. Now, as much as I'm not one to complain, I have to go on a little bit of a rant with our good friends at Limited Run. Now, admittedly, the person that was handling my ticket did so very professionally and all that stuff. I have no qualms with that whatsoever. But they recently changed to a new shipping partner, or rather, they're just not doing everything themselves, in case you weren't aware. The good news is you can actually break up pre-orders and cancel stuff on your own now. But the challenge is all the old orders were still on the old system. Which, okay, fine, no worries. I have several orders with Limited Run, and as of this point, I think I have maybe 2 or 3 more, but they're under the new system, so that's a little bit better. But the ones under the old system, basically, since they couldn't grandfather them in, they were just doing it the old-fashioned way. Alright. I see VGP, I see other websites getting the games I had ordered. Again, I know I stack like 3 to 4 games in each order because I get hit with shipping and tax. No problem. But now I'm seeing all of the games being released for the ones I ordered in specific bundles and packages and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it just hasn't shipped yet. And then a month went by. And I decided, okay, I gotta do a ticket. Like, this is dumb. I'm even looking at one of them and it says shipping completed on the website. And I'm like, how the hell is that possible? So I reach out and the customer service person's like, I mentioned there's a few orders with this problem. 4 orders in total. Over $500 in bullshit. Over time, right? So she looks it up. She comes back and says, we don't have those orders at all, but they're on the website and you've been charged for them. So I'm like, here we go. Okay, I know they have backups, they have all this stuff, but because the orders are under the old system, they have to go into the warehouse and try to locate them. They finally find them on like a back shelf somewhere, just chilling for several months or weeks or whatever. And she says, given the inconvenience, I'm going to put this through an expedite to get these shipped out, because they truthfully should have been shipped out a while ago. And then a week and a half went by, and then finally I follow up again. I'm like, is this expedited? Like, I've never heard of such a thing. I didn't expect next day, but a week and a half. So she said, hopefully they'll ship soon, and then maybe a day or 2 later, they all shipped out. Now, as of this recording, one of the packages had shipped out, and I'm going to put a date here, on February 28th. We are now about a week and a half, 2 weeks past that, and it has not moved at all. And the irony is, it is the one package I was really looking forward to the most, because it has 2 games that I have never played, and they're retro-ish, and they're re-releases, and I can't find them anywhere else at this point. And I am really fucking pissed off about it. So I reached out to them again, and now they're trying to figure out why their shipping partner hasn't actually picked them up, or where they are, because they are now officially lost again. That being said, let's talk about what I got, shall we? So first game here, we have Heart of the Woods. This is It's a visual novel from... It's a visual novel from... Man, this glare. From Sekai Works. It's... Basically, you could say it's with paranormal investigations and a little bit of a shoujo romance in there. I don't have to go into visual novels. I know a bunch of you guys don't like them. I happen to enjoy them. I am more of a visual reader, so for me it really helps. Next, we have Death Wish Enforcers. This came out a while ago. This is a beat-em-up game from, I think it's Monster Bath. And Limited Run had been promoting this from a while ago, and it looked really cool, and graphically, it's very much that arcade 1632-bit style. And I'm going through these really quick because there's a lot of stuff. Dark Deity. This is from who's it from? I think it's Freedom Game. Man, this glare. I am so sorry. This is from Freedom Games. This is a strategy game akin to Fire Emblem. This has been on PC for a very long time. It's been available digitally on the Switch even just as long, I believe. But it's actually really good. I just have to sit down and play it, to be completely honest. Radiant Silvergun. I don't really think anything needs to be said about this. This is one of Treasure's most iconic shoot-'em-ups. It was originally released on the Sega Saturn, and even back in the day when the Sega Saturn was relevant, and I was actually importing Sega Saturn games on a regular basis, I really wasn't into shmups as much. Stupid me, because this was like $50 on every single mail order thing, and I remember seeing this artwork all the time. The good news is I got Einhander instead, but regardless, Radiant Silvergun, it's actually really challenging. It's a combination of shoot 'em up stuff and a little bit of close range, and you get a lot of different weapon varieties. So if I could compare it to anything, I would put the difficulty up there with Ikaruga. But that's just me speaking. I've only beaten Ikaruga once, and I've only beaten Radiant Silvergun once, and I've never been able to do it again. Repugnant Bounty. This is a brand new Game Boy Color game. This is a little bit of a Metroid style game with a character who basically, I think, is a princess who has woken up and they're like the last person on Earth, or whatever planet it is. Looked really cool, actually, and I'd never heard of it before, so thought I'd look into that one. And then these are I have a little bit more to say about these. Castlevania Advance Collection. Yeah, I know there's a GBA version, but I have the rest of them in the NES box, and I do have this in a box protector already. So I want to keep them static because I have them all displayed up there. But this one includes all the GBA games and then Dracula X on the Super Nintendo, which honestly is not the best way to play that game, but it does have like a cult following. The Turbo CD version is truthfully the best way to play Rondo. Besides the music and the anime and all that other stuff, it just handles better. And I think Limited Run was supposed to do a reproduction of the Turbo CD games at one point. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm waiting. Rondo is honestly one of my personal favorites. Not Rondo. Yeah, Rondo is one of my personal favorites. So next up we have the arcade collection. This is, again, wanted to keep them all static. This one includes Scramble, Twin Bee, Nemesis, which is also Gradius, Life Force, I think it's Typhoon, and I think Gradius 2. Yeah, Gradius 2 and Thundercross. And I think this has Haunted Castle as well. Yep, Haunted Castle. That is the arcade-style Castlevania game, side-scrolling. Would not recommend it at all. It's not particularly good. And then the big boy, we have Volume 2 of the Neo Geo Pocket Color Collection. This one includes Mega Man Battle and Fighters, King of Fighters Battle Dice Paradise, Baseball Stars Color, Big Bang Pro Wrestling, Biomotor Unitron, which, if you guys don't know, it is all these are on the eShop if you just want to download and play them. I had Biomotor Unitron on my Neo Geo Pocket Color growing up. It's basically like a Pokemon style game, but instead of catching Pokemon, you collect robot parts and then you compete in basically a tournament, constructing different robots. Super fun. It's very old at this point, but it was super fun. So I was really looking forward to this collection specifically to replay that. We also have Puzzle Link 2, Neo Geo Cup 98 Plus Color, that's the soccer game. Also incredibly good. I played a lot of that one as well. Tennis was okay. But Card Fighters Clash. Now, I love a good collectible card game. And Card Fighters Clash was basically SNK versus Capcom in card form. I can't tell you guys how many hours I put into that game. Just grinding to make the best decks I could with all of my favorite characters. Really, really freaking addictive. Now, Baseball Stars Color I have to touch on this because Baseball Stars 2 is like one of my guilty pleasure games. When I'm in a really bad mood, I'm having a really bad day, I fire that up on whatever console, whatever PC, whatever laptop, whatever method I have available to me at the time. I just do a couple of innings in that game. And I'm not even a baseball guy. It's so ridiculous. But finally got all these. But the one I'm missing is Hammer and Harry. That is the collection. That is the one I am missing. That's the one I was really looking forward to the most. And ironically, out of all these, that was the most expensive one. So as soon as that comes in, I will be a happy camper, I hope. If worst case scenario, if they weren't able to find all these things, truthfully, I just want my money back. We're going to try this method to get rid of this glare. So I don't really think I need to say much about this one. Currently playing it, so there's another date thing we can do there, I guess. I'm gonna hold my thoughts on it, but I do understand that this deluxe edition is actually really hard to get. I truthfully ordered from 2 different places because I wanted to make sure I got it on release day, and one of them actually got canceled. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Don't really have much to say about this one yet. I've been playing the Yakuza games for a very long time. Ultos Romano, Prelude to the Fallen. I'd already played this on the Vita. These are excellent visual novel strategy games. Ultos Romano, I've gone on tangents with this one 1,000 times before. It is a trilogy, and Monochrome Mobius being kind of like a spiritual successor. Prelude to the Fallen is the first game. But, however, when it came to the localization over here, they actually did parts 2 and 3, which take place one after another. Prelude to the Fallen takes place several years before. There is an anime. You could always watch that instead. Of the 3, Prelude to the Fallen is easily the weakest, because it kind of has to set everything up. But the second game, Shadow, the Mask of Deception, has a lot of slice of life stuff to start, but it kind of has to reset the stage because it's a new protagonist in the same universe, and there are some reoccurring characters, so keep that in mind if you do decide to jump into these. I got this from a reprint from Video Games Plus because I had purchased it digitally on the Vita because we never got it physically. I do have a Japanese physical of the Vita copy, but truthfully, it's kind of useless. It was really just because I didn't have access to a physical copy, and I really wanted one. So now I do, in English, if I really wanted to replay it on the PlayStation Portal. Scaffold Bloody Pack, this came out from Red Art Games. I pre-ordered this on that wacky buy 2 get 1 thing that Best Buy did a while ago. These are, I guess you could say, one of them is more of a top-down thing, and the other one's kind of a side-scrolling thing, but obviously, by this box art, you could tell why I went with it. It's that Castlevania influence. Sympathy Kiss. I am going to shout out Double Jump Video Games and the YouTube short ad they did for this game because I freaking died. This is an Otome game. Don't really have to say much else about that, but open up to your desire. Diet Coke. One Shot, World Machine Edition. This is, I guess you could say, more of like an adventure-y game. This has been on PC for a very long time. It's not too long, and it's been highly praised. And I was, truthfully, it was on my Steam wishlist for a while. I just never got around to it. Then I saw that it was coming out on the Switch, and based on the gameplay that I looked at, it makes more sense for me to have it in my hands. Pronti. This has also been on the Switch for a minute. This is kind of a deep-sea Metroid style game. Hand-drawn, looks absolutely gorgeous. Now this I also got from Video Games Plus, and Limited Run was doing this game as well. I don't know why they were selling the PEGI version though. I guess they were just doing a distribution thing in some weird way. Alright, let me move through these. I think there's one, believe it or not, there's one more in here. Alright, so this one I purchased used. This is the A Toy Collection on the 3DS. I got that, obviously this is used. I can get this from Limited Run directly. This includes Mutant Mud, Zeo Drifter, Mutant Muds Deluxe, Chicken Wiggle, and then what was the last one? Bomb Monkey? Yeah, Bomb Monkey. So, obviously, this collection is on the Switch. This is from Jules Watson. A lot of you guys I know who that person is, and I've played Mutant Muds and I really enjoyed it, but I never finished it. The rest of the games I never touched. But honestly, I feel like the 3D in Mutant Muds was like one of the big selling points, so I just wanted to get on the 3DS as opposed to the Switch, so that's what I did. Okay, a couple more Switch things. Another Code Recollection. I got this on the Best Buy Buy Two Get One. Love the original Trace Memory. Absolutely love that game. It is so freaking good. Another Code was the overseas name. We never got the sequel. I had imported the sequel, or rather I did a trade with Sprites and Bytes back in the day for it. Never played it. So now I have them together, and they have been reworked a bit just to make them, I guess, a bit more modern, obviously to fit on the Switch as opposed to the DS and the Wii. The Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Love these games as well. Parts 2 and 3 never came out physically in the States. They were only available digitally on the 3DS, so I wanted to pick this up specifically to have a physical copy of them. I've played through all the Ace Attorney games at this point, save the Great Ace Attorney, so I have to get off my ass and get on that one. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Again, Best Buy Buy Two Get One. These puzzle games, I've only played the original Donkey Kong when they did the whole Game Boy Color Super Game Boy thing promotion. Really loved that as a kid. So many nights I would just spend sitting around the living room with my uncle. He would be watching Spanish soap operas because that's how he kept up on Spanish lingo, because he was fluent, believe it or not. But that's how he learned slang. And I'd just be playing that. And honestly, I was not the best puzzle platformer kid, and I'm still not, but I really enjoy them. I find them very, I guess you could say, cathartic. It's not cathartic. Yeah, I guess relaxing. I find them like I can kind of just disconnect from all the crap around me. Unless you play something like Inside or Limbo or Little Nightmares, in which case you're practically freaking terrified the whole time, but the puzzles in these games aren't really that challenging. And I've only really played that when I played a little bit of Mini Mayhem, like through Unscrupulous Means, and I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that one. Tito Milestones Volume 2. These collections are overpriced bullshit, if you ask me. I actually got this on like Ultra Liquidation clearance sale through Woot, which is basically all the overstock from Amazon. And this includes Ben Berobe, Darius 2, Dino Rex, which I wanted to play, New Zealand Story, which is basically the Kiwi guy, The Legend of Kaje, Gun Frontier, which I wanted to play, Solitary Fighter, Metal Black, which is a really expensive shoot 'em up on the Sega Saturn, Kiki Kai Kai, which is basically Pocky and Rocky, or the prequel to it, and Liquid Kids. No idea what Liquid Kids are. But this came out at like $40, and the original collection came out at $40. And based on the age and the gameplay I saw in those games, I was like, this is not $40. This is like $19.99 to $25, and that's what I paid for this, $25. All right, Ultos. This just came in. This is basically a psychedelic Metroid style game, and I've watched a bit of gameplay, and do not be under the influence of anything while playing this. You're gonna have a seizure. It looks really cool though, but here's the catch with the whole thing too. It kind of just came out and nobody said anything. I don't know if it's like a limited release or it just had no marketing because it is ultimately a budget-ish sort of title, I guess. I don't really know. Maximum Games is very strange. Their games just come out. But I found out about it through Cannot Be Tamed, and then I forgot. And then I saw an ad for it on Steam because, you know, SEO and algorithms. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I wishlisted it, and then I forgot about it. And then Chris, the old-ass retro gamer, had it in a pickup video. And I was like, okay, fuck it. I got to buy it before it's gone. So that's what I did. And I think I got it for like a small discount. But I'm really looking forward to jumping in that one. That is going to be excellent on the PlayStation Portal. Fort Solis, or Solis. This is kind of like I'm going to say an interactive movie adventure game akin to like your Beyond Two Souls and all that stuff. A lot of people say it's really kind of boring, or at least it's very intriguing, but nothing happens in terms of gameplay stuff. And I'm thinking that's because people were looking for more interactivity. I think. Obviously, it's still sealed. I haven't opened it. But considering I like VNs, and I'm very much a fan of the ones with no gameplay, maybe just having a little bit won't be so much of a bother for me. But everybody says the voice acting, the mocap, like all that is phenomenal. Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4. This includes all the DLC. That's a bunch of costumes that I don't use. Truthfully, I really wanted to get this just for the sake of shelf consolidation, and I had a coupon that was going to expire. Have played both of those. I still say Cold Steel 2 is my absolute favorite, but this quadrology, man, whew. Again, you know, I went through Cold Steel 2, 3, and 4 all in the same year. Considering I had such a gap after I played 1 into 2. It was exhausting, but it is such an epic story. And if you have the time to go through all 4 over the course of 12 months, like you do one, then wait a month, and do another one, and wait a month, or something like that, I highly recommend it. Any game that has a direct tie-in or a direct continuation like that, moving forward, that's how I'm going to do it. Just because I feel like it made it so much easier for me not to have to reference back and all that stuff. Final Fantasy Rebirth being a little bit of an exception to this, because yes, this does take place right after the end of Remake. Because I played the original Final Fantasy VII, and my hype for this game has no bounds. And then I do realize I forgot a game here. I did get Persona 3 Reload, which seems to, at least as of this recording, and I'm stuttering all over the place today, keeps getting price drops, which is great. I think eventually I'm just going to get it for $39.99 at the rate I'm going, but we'll see. Going to save my thoughts on that one as well. But I have played the original Persona 3, and they have recently announced that the FES content is coming as part of a season pass. Not surprised. I will definitely be picking it up because I'm one of 3 people in the world who actually enjoyed the FES content. Last 2 games, and then we can get the hell out of here. Lord of the Rings Tactics. This one's for you, Rusty. So, I am a member of the Otaku Brothers Discord channel, and for whatever reason the other day we all just went on this whole Lord of the Rings licensed game rant, and I gotta say I tried Aragorn's Quest through unscrupulous means. How the hell did you play that and find it fun? Oh my god, I am crying. That's how bad it was. I tried The Hobbit 2. I wish there was alcohol in this. I was just as painful. I didn't try the GBA version. Maybe I should have tried that. I tried the GameCube version. But in all the talk, I did see a copy of Lord of the Rings Tactics at Book Off for $6.99, I think it was. So I picked this up. This is essentially a turn-based strategy game on the PSP, based on the Lord of the Rings license. The only gripe I have about it is that it's very grindy, to its detriment, as somebody who usually doesn't have problems with grinds. But it's Lord of the Rings and it's a tactical RPG. How could it miss? How could it miss? I don't consider it a miss at all. What I do consider a miss is frickin' Aragorn's Quest in all of its iterations, even though I only played the Wii version. And then finally, one of these retro re-releases, Solis, otherwise known as Soulfeast. This is one of the Wolf Team releases. Renovation releases, and this was done by Retrobit. And I gotta say, I didn't pick up the El Viento one because I truthfully just don't like El Viento, and I have it on the Evercade anyway. But releases like this from Retrobit, I have a bunch of them at this point, and unfortunately Hammer and Harry is one of them. they do such a good job on the presentation. I mean, look at this cover art. Like, you know, how... Yeah, and I open these fucking things because I play my games. Eventually. But, like, this is what I really enjoy about these things. Like, they actually take the time not to just slap stuff together on a cart. And these obviously aren't donor carts. You know, they're actually fresh molds. So, you know, I'm all about the physical preservation. But let's say this is a little bit too fancy for you. You have the original cover art as well. But this Japanese one, to me, just looks, oh, so good. As a shooter... I'll be honest with you, I'll say it's average, but it's also a renovation game, and when I say average, I'm saying average based on renovation standards, which is still pretty high. But of all the renovation shooters, if you were to ask me which one's my favorite, it's Elemental Master, which I do own physically, and I got that basically on ultra liquidation clearance before anybody knew what it was. There used to be a website that pretty much only sold video game manuals and box art and all that stuff for DS games and whatnot, replacements, and they were cheap, like $2 here to $3 there, but I think it was a minimum amount you had to spend. So, you know, I would basically just be like, okay, cool, I found $20 worth of boxes and manuals I need, and I'd lump them together. And then I guess the guy was liquidating his own personal collection or something, because randomly one day they had a bunch of games, and it was Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, a couple of Famicom things, and a couple of Sega CD things, disc only. So I went through everything, and I went through the Genesis games, and he had Subterraria, Elemental Master, I think Lightning Force 2, 3, and 4, and obviously you guys can guess which ones I picked up. I picked up all the shmups, and I think all in that was like $80 or something, before the manuals I was also picking up. But I gotta find that receipt. It's in my email somewhere, because I want to remember how much I paid for everything. And I think I also got Spider-Man Web of Shadows or Crack in Time or something, and my monitor just turned off, so let's turn that back on so we can get some light. There you go. Yeah. This is how we operate, especially since I'm doing this really fast because I'm at work. But anyway, I just wanted to do this because this stack I'm making sure I got everything. This stack is disgusting. And you know, I told myself I really didn't want to do these as often, but considering I literally had like 4 packages show up and I'm still missing packages, I gotta put this stuff away. Anyway, I've been Alex, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care.